Hello and welcome to another edition of ProtoMet Tries, and in today's video I'm going to be trying Nongshim's bowl noodles. Specifically I'm going to be trying the beef, hot and spicy chicken, and spicy kimchi flavors. Got a lot to get through, and unfortunately these bowls are rather nondescript. They're actually just wrapped in a wrapper that indicates which was which. And since these bowls look a bit thin, when the magic starts, a plate will magically appear in order to avoid, getting burned by these. So anyway, let's give this a shot in 3. Well, we're going to start with the beef bowl because it's the only one of these that's not spicy, so we can get a bit of a baseline taste on how these taste. So let's see, in 3, 2, 1. Well, I guess you can't really see that because of A, the lid, and B, the fact that because of how wet this is, it may actually be a bit difficult to actually show you everything. Gonna get mixed up. But it's basically ramen noodles in a brown water. But we got like chunks of meat, a couple veggies. I can recognize a carrot, and I'm actually trying to get a good look at looks to be green onion. See if I can give you guys a good look at that. Doesn't look like I really can. From here, can you see it? No. It's very difficult for me to show you, but just know that it's got like a brown beige-ish one. I'm going to assume that the other bowls are going to be just as difficult to actually show you on camera. Kind of wish I had a second camera to show you, but I don't. How's it smell? Reminds me of a beef instant lunch. The kind from Maruchan. They're kind of instant lunch noodle cups. So yeah, your standard beef flavor scent. How does it taste? Like beefy ramen, that's what it tastes like. Not super surprised with the taste on this one. It's fine. Should actually see what the microwave instructions are. I went with the hot water, but I think this might, maybe, potentially be an okay thing to try for work. Which is really the big reason why I'm trying a lot of these ramen. If I like enough of them and I can microwave them, then they're good for work. And this one is fine for work, I think. I could be wrong. Let's see, got a bit of the beef here. That's a beef chunk. A rehydrated beef chunk. But a beef chunk nonetheless. I am a bit disappointed that this was the only one I was able to find that wasn't a spicy variety. Because I would have been interested to know what their chicken bowl noodles would have tasted like. I'm wondering if this is supposed to be a beef flavor. Because it looks like it's got a bit of a beef on it. But that could be something else entirely. It also looks like it might have a mushroom ingredient, but I'm not actually... I mean, granted, I'm not going to scan this whole thing and read every ingredient, but I'm not immediately seeing anything that says mushroom. So I don't know. Yeah, this looks to just be a beefy or a spicy beef flavor without outright telling you that it's supposed to be beef flavored. But whatever. This one, the regular beef bowl is fine. But now we're going to try the hot and spicy variety. In 3, 2, 1. And like I suspected, the cover they use is the same. The lid they use is the same between the versions, so you really have to rely on the wrapping to see it. This one has some circular pieces in here that I'm not sure what they are. Try to give you a look at one of them. And while the broth is rather brown, it's actually a more pronounced brown than in the previous one. Again, I'm gonna try to show you. I don't know how successful that's going to be. I think that was slightly more successful this time around. Got what I can only assume are chives. Initially I thought that there was corn in here, but those circular mystery bits seem to be there instead. What does it smell like? It smells like steam. I'm not really getting too much of a distinct smell, other than it does smell kind of tasty. It might just be a sort of hot sauce smell or something. I can't quite place the smell. Well, it does have a bit of spiciness to it. I feel it's I don't quite want to say it's on the mild side. I want to say it's more like a medium, at least compared to all the spicy stuff that I have been trying. I'm just looking at the packaging for the spicy chicken one. I'm trying to figure out what's on there. What it is they've added to that. It probably isn't actually in here. Let's see if we can find one of those circle bits. There, here we go. Got it spiked. Take a quick look. Let's see what one of these are just on its own. I still don't know. Maybe tofu, but without looking at the instructions, or the ingredient list, I can't actually be sure. I think when compared to the beef bowl, I think I would prefer the beef bowl over this. But this isn't bad. Or I will say that the spiciness of it might disqualify it from being a work food, for me at least. Because A, with bowls like these, they are temperature hot, which is fine. But the spicy heat just kind of makes it difficult to want to immediately bite in, and I've only got so much time to spend for lunch before I gotta go back to work. You understand what I mean. And again, while this is more on the milder side, it's perfectly fine. It's a perfectly fine spicy noodle bowl. Not anything terribly offensive. Perfectly fine. But now we've got the chicken bowl. Let's see. 3, 2, 1. Again, we've got the generic lid. Quite a bit of mixing to do. We got carrots, corn, other Now I will say that the brown of this looks a bit closer to the beef bowl than it did the hot and spicy or whatever it was called. See if we can give you a look at it. Again, don't want to spill it. How does it smell? Yeah, I'd say that smells a bit chickeny. It definitely smells steamy. It does look like there are maybe chunks of some chicken type meat in here, or at least an approximation of chicken meat. It's definitely more of a chickeny flavor than spicy, which might explain why spicy seemed to be pretty small on the packaging. In fact, I'm not really getting a whole lot of spicy at all. We've got one of these chicken pieces, which upon closer inspection looks closer to the discs from the previous one. See how these taste on their own. Chewy, that's for sure. I'd say that if it's not chicken meat, then it's at least an approximation of chicken meat. Because I have my doubts about that actually being chicken. Especially with how disc-shaped that one was. This one's fine. It is definitely on the milder side when it comes to spicy. So there's nothing wrong there. Just not quite what I was expecting. I was expecting it to be a bit hotter, and while it is technically hot because of the temperature, the spicy is pretty damn mild. This one is potentially good for taking to work. The fact that the spiciness of it is so mild that it's almost negligible actually does make it something that I could dig into a lot more. And while I would assume that the heat of it would probably intensify the more I had of it, I feel like it's not too overwhelming. I wouldn't be like, oh, I can't have any more. I need to wait until my tongue recovers. I'd be like, yeah, no, this will be fine. Just wait a couple of seconds or something. Which finally brings us to the spicy kimchi flavor of this. So let's give this one final shot in 3, 2, 1. Of course, we've got the lid and the stirring to get through. Come on. There we go. Got the last of it. Definitely got a very orange look to it this time around. This one definitely looks to be a bit closer to what I would expect from something that's claiming to be spicy. Whew. I'm still not sure what kimchi is supposed to taste like, but that does remind me of the taste of other kimchi varieties that I have tried. I forgot to see how it smelled. Not getting too much of a scent from that. Although it might be because I've already had something, so I had some of it, so maybe I'm just used to it. But the smell just smells like steam. And while this does have a bit of a kimchi flavor to it, it's not particularly hot. Yeah, carrots and herbs and whatnot. Some of the standard stuff you expect. But like with the other spicy varieties of Nongshim's noodle bowls, or whatever they're called, bowl noodles, these are pretty mild. to the point where if I didn't know that these were supposed to be spicy, I probably wouldn't have expected them to. I probably wouldn't assume that they were spicy. So, of all these, which ones will I take to work? The beef bowl, obviously, is one that gets a pass. The spicy chicken bowl, that one also passes. I'd say the kimchi also passes. I'm not sure about the hot and spicy bowl. That one was just kind of I guess I'd give it a pass because it wasn't horrible. It just wasn't as good as some of these other ones. So yeah, give Nongshim's bowl noodles a try, and until next time, I gotta figure out what to do with all these plates.